Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Before stepping forward, the most important thing is to understand where you are now. He has almost figured out the position of the spiritual power and the body of the law, and now only the martial body is left. Sheng thought about it, and dodged to a spaceship. No sooner said than done. He no longer uses mental power, and only relies on the physical body. 10 fingers dig deep into the hull of the spacecraft, where the hatch is located. Use force. Crunch and crunch. He ripped open a huge hole in the black hatch. It has the material of broken ink star iron. Sheng touched the torn part of the spaceship and thought to himself. Just a few months ago, he was thinking of making a set of weapons out of broken ink star iron. Now it seems is not needed. It can be used to make the hull of the spacecraft. It is estimated that it is the material of the bad street. And into it is not solid. Sheng complained and walked into the spaceship. After entering, he closed the torn opening of the spaceship door. The spaceship has a lot of space inside. Sheng followed a straight upward passage to the top of the spaceship. His mental power had already figured out the inside and outside of this spaceship. There is also a huge space below, and there are many people locked in it. It seems to be a looted population. In Sheng's exploration, the life forms located at the bottom of the spacecraft had the upper body of a human and the tail of a fish. Almost exactly like the mermaid in fairy tales. And all the looks are very high, all handsome and beautiful. Among them, there are many 8th level and 9th level martial arts experts. The starry sky is too big, and there are all kinds of strange races. Sheng sighed and found the cab of the spacecraft all the way. A big green-haired man slumped on a chair in the cab, next to a naked mermaid. Already dead. Was tossed to death. Sheng retracted his gaze, his eyes were a little cold. He can almost determine that the people on the 2 spaceships, as well as the evil halberd that he had killed before. Neither are good people. Who can do this kind of thing? Sheng walked to the big green-haired man and found a communicator embedded in his flesh on him. There is also a dark green, hand ring thing. Sheng recognized at a glance that the latter was the space storage prop that Lan Qin had shown him to 097. His eyes were hot at the time, and now he finally got one. The operation of this space storage bracelet is extremely simple, as long as the mental power is penetrated. Sheng poured his spiritual power into it and glanced at it, his eyes widened instantly. Then light up. Good guy. Sheng called him a good guy. The family background of this green-haired man is too rich. He glanced at it casually, and found that there are hundreds of tons of resources similar to energy crystals. What concept? Sheng trained the immortal cell to 3,650, and rushed to the 9th level, but only spent a few hundred kilograms of energy crystals. Several hundred tons? Enough for me to practice tens of thousands of immortal cells. Sheng's breathing became a little faster. He quickly put away the bracelet, thinking of another spaceship, and thinking of the evil halberd killed by himself. Suddenly, I didn't want to stay for a moment, and hurried out of the spaceship. Move them all back and count them slowly. Back in space, Sheng took a deep breath and transformed into a 100,000-meter high Dharma body. Grab the 2 spaceships one by one in one hand, and rumble and fly towards the blue star. He can't fly a spaceship, so he can only rely on this stupid method. Space jump time is cooling down, please execute this order after 36 hours. Lan Qin lightly punched the virtual operation panel, and said with some annoyance, I knew I would have changed to a higher level spaceship. The level of this spaceship is too low, and each space jump requires a 2-day cooldown. The gray-haired man put down the communicator in his hand and comforted, don't worry, I just got the news. The law enforcement officers in the Sub-Jupiter district have already brought people to the A28462 Azure Star, and the law enforcement officers in our White Fog district are also rushing. On the way. At the speed of the Star Police spacecraft, maybe they are even faster than us. Have the law enforcement officers of the 2 star regions come? A look of surprise appeared on Lan Chen's face. Looks like Qi Tong can't escape this time. The gray-haired man nodded and said solemnly, this time, the 2-star regions are determined to eradicate the cancer of Qi Tong. If the law enforcers of the 2-star regions can join forces, Qi Tong can also be proud of it. 2 law enforcement officers. Lan Chen said softly in his mouth, and the expression on his face relaxed a little. Then Lu Sheng, it should be fine, it should be. I am very well. There is an uninhabited island in the Ninghai Sea area. Lu Sheng was standing in front of 2 huge black spaceships, talking to his family on the phone. Zhang Yufan's hesitant voice came from the other end of the phone. Little Saint, I saw your dad on TV. Lu Sheng hesitated for a moment, then said, Mom, let's talk when I get back, I'm busy here. Pay attention to your body, don't get tired. Understood. Lu Sheng hung up the phone, having a headache. In this Azure Star crisis, his identity was exposed, and he didn't know how to explain it to his family. Tell them that their son is the legendary military god of the army, the first powerhouse of the Azure Star? God knows if the hearts of ordinary people like my parents can bear it. Go back and find a chance to explain slowly. Lu Sheng put this troublesome thing aside for a while, and put his eyes back on the 2 spaceships in front of him. He still has 2 space storage bracelets of similar styles in his hand, and he has already picked up the things in the spaceship and in the bracelet. Amazing harvest. The total amount of energy crystal resources exceeds 700 tons. Except for a few of the original energy crystal mines that I have seen that have just been mined, the rest are processed energy crystal blocks. 2 energy crystals appeared in Lu Sheng's hand. The 2 energy crystals are about the same size, with beautiful patterns and some weird and complicated cosmic characters printed on them. One is white and the other is black. The energy contained in the black energy crystal block is more than 100 times that of the white energy crystal block. Do more valuable energy crystals exist like money? Lu Sheng played with the 2 energy crystal blocks and guessed at will. The number of black energy crystal blocks is much less than the number of white energy crystal blocks, and it does not even add up to 50 tons. In addition, there are some messy things stored in the bracelet. Ores, materials, and technological products of unknown function. The only thing Lu Sheng knew was a dozen battle suits and a few starry sky cold weapons similar to alloy war knives. There is nothing to say about the battle uniform, the material and style are similar to what Lu Sheng wore when he saw Lan Chen. The alloy war knife gave Lu Sheng a small surprise. The material for making the alloy war knife is very similar to the broken ink star iron, but it is a grade higher than the broken ink star iron. A real level 10 cold weapon. Lu Sheng picked up a dark blue alloy sword and slashed at the black spaceship in front of him. The alloy war knife cut into nearly a third, and it felt like cutting on wood. Lu Sheng took out the alloy sword and swiped hard on his arm. A shallow white mark was left on the stellar body, which recovered in an instant. The defensive power of my martial body is almost equal to level 10. Lu Sheng put away his sword and looked at the 2 spaceships in front of him. These 2 spaceships, as well as the strange cosmic races held in the spaceships, may be the most valuable. Although the 2 spaceships were crushed a little by me, there should be no problem with taking off. Of course, the premise is that I have to learn how to fly a ship first. Lu Sheng's current strength has completely reached the level of walking out of the planet, and he can survive in space without breathing. It's just that there is no star-level transportation. It only took him less than a minute to break through the atmosphere of the blue star from the surface. It's fast. But in the sky measured in light years. What's the difference between this speed and a turtle crawling? How to swim the starry sky on the 11th road. So he can only rely on Lan Chen as a guide. No need now, even if Lan Chen never returns, he will be able to go to the Sea of Stars sooner or later. Before leaving Cerulean, there's one more thing to figure out. Lu Sheng frowned slightly and thought, it is the future that was deduced from the dream space. Where does the doomsday crisis come from in 8 years? Lu Sheng thought and entered the dream space. In the desolate and dead starry sky, Lu Sheng looked at the light group in front of him representing the power of the origin of the universe, and gently covered his hand. Then call your own 0.0%. Here omitted countless, the permission of one, and start to deduce. Deduce my future. It's being played. Soon, the results were presented. Name, Sheng. Future trend, A28462 Azure Star Martial ancestor, who walked out of Azure Star at the age of 21, is the first genius in Baiwu Star District in 100,000 years. The following year, he participated in the battle of the top 5 star regions and won the first place. Achieved level 11 at the age of 40, participated in the Serpent Galaxy performance, and ranked among the top 100. 100,000 years old, he was promoted to the 15th level and became the Lord of the Serpent Galaxy. 300,000 years old and the universe perished. Sheng looked at the source power prediction in front of him, and his mood was a bit complicated. 100,000 years old to achieve level 15, the Lord of the Serpent Galaxy. 300,000 years old and destroyed together with the universe. So the time left for me is only 300,000 years. And after 300,000 years, this universe will be completely decayed and destroyed. And if I continue with my current trend, I will only be able to reach the 15th level at most within 300,000 years, not even the 16th level. Sudden pressure. Sheng stared at the last 2 lines of the future data for a long time. Then he shook his head and re-entered the command, "Will deduce the future of Azure Star." The results obtained 11, destroyed after 8 years by the invasion of the dark side of the universe. Sheng's eyes flickered. His strength has improved so much than before, and the result is still destruction after 8 years. Fortunately, the cause of this destruction was found. Dark side cosmic invasion. The problem really lies in the cracks in the cave. That is to say, within the past 8 years, Azure Star will complete the process from Resource Star to Battlefield Star, and finally completely transformed into the Starry Sky and Alien Beast battlefield. This kind of erosion crisis on the dark side of the universe cannot be changed by Sheng alone. Even the 16th level Tianlan Starfield Lord Yangizhou can't stop the rotten apple. How can he stop this trend? The only thing I can do is probably, during these 8 years, find a new suitable planet for life for the Azure people to live in, and then move the people on the entire planet there. Evacuate to a new safe area. This is the only feasible solution to this crisis that Sheng can think of. So, my small goal at this stage is 1 year. Sheng's eyes flickered, and he said to himself, "Buy a planet of life big enough." When Sheng came out of the dream space, and then looked at his current harvest, he no longer felt much. He didn't know how much it would cost to buy a living planet, but he certainly couldn't get it by selling a few spaceships. And there's one from the evil halberd. Sheng remembered this, and his mental power scanned the world, and it took a little time to lock the position of the evil halberd spaceship. With a flick of the figure, he disappeared on the island. This small island, which he used to temporarily store the spaceship, has long been covered up with mental power. Even military satellites cannot monitor it, let alone ordinary people. At least on this planet, it is absolutely safe. It took Sheng less than 3 breaths to arrive at a distance of thousands of kilometers. After the 9th level, his speed reached an unprecedented height. In 1 second, it can fly a distance of nearly 1,000 kilometers. The maximum circumference of the entire Azure Star is only more than 90,000 kilometers, which means that I only need 1.5 minutes to circle the Azure Star. Incredible speed. Things that I never dared to think about in the past are now happening to me. Even Sheng had a somewhat dreamy feeling. But it's a long way from star travel. My speed is far from the speed of light, and the speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second. And the distance between many planets is calculated in light years. Without a space vehicle, if you really break your legs, you won't be able to walk that far. Sheng thought, the whole person has quietly appeared at the location of the target spaceship. It's still the same place, the center of a first-tier city somewhere in Long Kingdom. It's just that most of the city has been turned into ruins because of the evil halberd. The entire city is undergoing post-disaster reconstruction work. The location of the battle group in the center of the city was blocked by the army and set as a military-heavy area. When Lu Sheng arrived, Lin Zhengyue and other 10 Wu Sheng were around the huge spaceship going up and down the east and west to look around. Just look like a douche bag. Have you researched anything? Lu Sheng walked up to Lin Zhengyue and asked casually. No. Lin Zhengyue shook his head, put one hand on the outer shell of the spacecraft, and said with emotion, the technology of this spacecraft surpasses our civilization by too much. A lot of things, let alone research, can't even understand. For example, the outer shell of this spaceship is made of star-level materials, and it is difficult to do research if you want to get the next one. Lin Zhengyue said, suddenly reacted, turned around and found that it was Lu Sheng, and hurriedly snorted and saluted him. Lord Lu. Lin Zhengyue's voice attracted the attention of other martial saints. Seeing Lu Sheng coming, these celestial martial saints hurried over to greet him. Lord Lu. Today's Lu Sheng seems to have reached a new height in the hearts of many martial saints in Azure Star. One even surpasses the height of the leader. They have all seen the strength of the evil halberd. Beating them is like an adult hitting a baby. And what about Lu Sheng? Pinch the evil halberd like pinching a mosquito. To convert, Lu Sheng squeezed them. That is pinching mosquito eggs. That's horrible. At the same level of 9th, they were not even considered ants when they placed them in front of Lu Sheng. It is said that the 8th level sect is as deep as the sea, but now they have discovered the water of the 9th level Wuxingjing. It's even deeper. Lu Shengchong nodded slightly to the others, but he glanced at the spaceship but did not find that there were still people in the spaceship. These guys are probably afraid of making him unhappy. After all, this spaceship is Lu Sheng's trophy, and it is considered impolite for them to dawdle outside the spaceship. If you go in and wander around, that is disrespectful to Lu Sheng. Oh, by the way, did you find anything on the evil halberd? Lu Sheng asked Lin Zhengyue. Lin Zhengyue shook his head, there is only some minced meat left in the body of the evil halberd, other than that, there is nothing left. Do you want to see it? The minced meat has been properly preserved by us. Never mind. Lu Sheng couldn't help but feel pity. Not surprisingly, there should also be a space storage bracelet on the evil halberd. It's all his fault that he was too ruthless when he attacked and directly crushed the whole body of the evil halberd. A small space storage bracelet naturally no longer exists. This time the loss is huge. When Lu Sheng sighed, Lin Zhengyue had already taken out a small silver suitcase and handed it to Lu Sheng. This is something that the Lord ordered before, and it has been done. Oh. Lu Sheng took the suitcase and entered spiritually. It was found that this suitcase is also a space storage prop, and the space inside is about a dozen cubic meters, all of which are filled with energy crystals. A rough estimate is about 5 or 6 tons. It turned out that Lin Zhengyue collected crystal or energy from all over the world at his command. Lu Sheng withdrew his mental power, lifted the suitcase, and asked casually, is this the one from the extreme way? Lin Zhengyue shook her head and said carefully, this is mine. Oh. Lu Sheng threw the suitcase back to Lin Zhengyue and said casually, you can divide it yourself. Lin Zhengyue was stunned while holding the suitcase. You have also contributed a lot to the evil halberd this time, and many people have been injured, so they should be rewarded. In fact, Lu Sheng has completely despised the resources of Azure Star at this moment. The energy crystal resources he got from Gia and Lu Herdehan were more than 700 tons, and he couldn't compete with Lin Zhengyue and the other country martial saints for resources. The suitcase doesn't even matter. Gia and the 2 space storage bracelets are not only lightweight, but also have 100 or so cubes of space inside. The suitcases that Lin Zhengyue and the others used were not products of the same era. Like the difference between a modern sports car and an 80s tractor. Lu Sheng is someone who is going to buy a planet. If even Lin Zhengyue and the others are concerned about the hair in their hands. I can't afford to lose that man. Grown-ups. Lin Zhengyue was a little stunned and couldn't help but say, have you seen what's inside? But there are several tons. Beyond martial saint. Lu Sheng interrupted Lin Zhengyue's words, patted him on the shoulder, and said earnestly, if you want to take it, just take it. Enlarge the pattern, otherwise how can we connect with the starry sky in the future? Lin Jingyue's expression was stunned, and she said, pattern. A huge spacecraft with hundreds of square kilometers appeared in the starry sky not far from the blue star. The whole body of the spacecraft is dark in color, shaped like a ferocious claw. Inside the spaceship, the red-eyed man with a temperament like a starry sky star narrowed his eyes and stared at the blue planet not far ahead, and said in a low voice, "Can you determine the location of the spaceship of the three evil halberds?" The black-haired woman sat in front of an operating table, nodded and said, "It's certain, it's on this planet." What is the result of the energy scan? There are a total of 24 energy sources above the 9th level, and there is no energy source above the 10th level. Is it possible to hide energy source fluctuations? The black-haired woman hesitated for a moment and replied, "Our Devil's Claw spacecraft is a level 11 aircraft, and the spacecraft's functions are top-notch in all aspects. If you want to hide from the detection of the Devil's Claw, it is estimated that an aircraft of level 12 or above can do it." The red-eyed man heard the woman's report and whispered to himself, "The spaceship is here, but the people have all disappeared. There is no strong person above level 11. It seems that they took the initiative to cut off the connection with the Devil's Claw. Evil halberd Ghost Yafrando, what is the reason for you to choose to abandon us so resolutely?" The red-eyed man frowned slightly, unable to find any answer that satisfied him. After thinking about it, he casually said, "Recall the spaceship immediately." Yes. The ships driven by the three evil halberds are all subships of the Devil's Claw, and the mothership can forcibly recall them if necessary. With the operation of the black-haired woman, the mandatory recall signal of the Devil's Claw was quickly sent out. The black-haired woman stared at the operation panel for a while, breathed a sigh of relief, and reported, "Sir, everything is going well, and the three subships are being recalled." The red-eyed man nodded slightly, with his hands behind his back, standing in front of the huge window in the cab, quietly looking at the blue planet in front of him. His face was expressionless, and he didn't know what was on his mind. At the same time, on the side of the Azure Star Dragon country. How about the casualties of the various countries caused by this evil halberd? Our dragon kingdom has died in this disaster. Lu Xingzheng and Lin Zhengyue were talking, and at this moment, suddenly. Boom. The black spaceship in front of the two spewed out blazing tail flames, the whole spaceship suddenly suspended and then flew towards the sky. Lu Sheng raised his head abruptly, and his spiritual power suddenly protruded, forming an invisible force that firmly grasped the dangling spaceship. What happened? Lu Shengshui turned his head to look at the people in the field. Is there someone in the spaceship? These Wu Sheng shook their heads blankly. No one has ever entered. That is. Lu Sheng's mental power quickly dissipated, and in the blink of an eye, he came out of the atmosphere and came to the starry sky. He saw an incomparably huge black spaceship hovering quietly in space. Check out the shape of the ship. Lu Sheng understood in an instant. He immediately released the mental power that bound the spaceship, kicked his feet, and the whole person rushed out of the atmosphere at an unknown speed that was many times faster than the spaceship. The strong wind blew the black hair in front of Lu Sheng's forehead, and there was no expression on his handsome face. A pair of eyes are staring at the direction of the starship, and there are bright rays of light flashing.